Okay, what we're going to do today is take a look at three apps, or start to look at three apps. The first one, the ANC Explorer, which is Arlington National Cemetery. The next one is the DC Metro app and Metro Bus. And the third one, if we have time, will be the National Zoo. Now, we'll do these as we have time, and obviously this is about, we're going to start with Arlington National Cemetery. And as you can see here, this is this and the Metro one. I mean, this obviously if you're going to Arlington National Cemetery, but even if you're not, it talks about rain is predicted, exercise caution as slippery conditions may exist. It's open today from 8 a.m. and the changing the guard will occur every hour. Now come up here and let's check memorial trees. I was trying to remember where something was, and they've got them listed in numerical and then alphabetical order. And if you come down here, let's slide all the way to the Vietnam veteran, the Vietnam No Greater Love. That was the organization. And there's Memorial Stone. They lie here united in death, that the living might unite in peace. And that's that. And then it says Overview, which is what we're on now, album, and which has just got the one picture. It doesn't have, it did have a picture of the red maple. I don't know where that went. And then you come down, whoops, sorry. You could ask for directions if you want, but as we're not there, whoops, doing two things at the same time, kind of difficult for me. As we're not there, it doesn't really work. But I used it a couple times when I was there, and it's absolutely brilliant. Now, let's say we're looking for, come back up here, and I knew where my friend's gravesite was, but let's just say you don't know, but you have the person's last name, and we're going to put in here, whoops, let me put this someplace where it makes sense to you. Hooper. Whoops. Trying to do this and type at the same time. And the first name is Joe. Joe. And then click search. And what it'll come up with is Joe Hooper, his gravesite, and where it is and everything else. The other cool thing about this app, especially if you don't know anybody there and you just want to tour the place, you could click and go to notable graves, and it lists how you want them, associate justices, or you come down at all notable graves. Whoops. Wrong button again. Notable graves. Then you come down here and it'll give you a list of all the notable graves, people in, like if you wanted to find Omar Bradley's grave, Second World War general, pretty famous. Let me see if I could click this here. Okay. And then it gives, the information about him and all of that, and then pictures and all that. I mean, if you plan on visiting Arlington National Cemetery, which I think anybody who's going to come to the D.C. area for a while should, it's definitely a useful app. Now, next, we have the DC Metro and Bus app. Now, this is, okay, the Metro system, there's maps everywhere, and whenever you get into a station. But the other thing is this works when you don't get a signal when you're down there underground. And it's got all the stations listed. It's got the transfer stations and all that. And visiting DC, it's most helpful. The next thing is the next bus app. Now this, I'm not going to be able to show you much because we're not there, and I can't use the GPS and stuff like that. But it's quite handy if you're going to be in DC, and they're both ANC and the Metro one are both free. Now the least useful one I found was the National Zoo. And it didn't seem like the GPS worked. and I couldn't see where I was. It shows you where everything is. It's a very good app, with the exception of, I mean, in the ANC map, I could see exactly where I was when I hit the GPS. And with the National Zoo one, no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't, because one of the main reasons I wanted to find it was, there we go, now it's moving. It's welcome to now. I mean, it's got a ton of good information, but the thing I found most frustrating was I couldn't see my location. But that's pretty much it. If you're coming to America, the place to visit is Washington, D.C., if you're interested in American history, no doubt. And if you're going to visit Washington, D.C., first of all, the ability to get around is definitely a major thing. The second thing is, if you visit someplace, how to get there, how to do all this and all that. So anyhow, that's sort of Google and a geezer in Washington, D.C. Whoops. See Daisy. And I hope you all found it somewhat interesting, if not quite a bit shaky. But the Metro app, the ANC app, both free, and the National Zoo, which is informative, and I don't really feel like I wasted my money, but I would have found it a lot nicer if I could have found myself on GPS. The other thing it does is it has all the news, like now there's the new panda at the zoo and all that. And they have all sorts of cams, which really work. So you all take care. Bye.